Hey guys, Jess from Knockout Print Shop, and today I have for you my November 2020 flip through. So we'll go through my monthly and weekly view and show you how I use my planner this month. So I am filming this on Tuesday, so a little bit left in the month, but I wanted to get this done ahead of time so you can just see quickly how I use my month view. This is totally different than I've ever used my month views in the past. And I did this because I don't really get a lot of use out of my monthly view or calendar, so I wanted to try something different. So you know, if you've watched my videos before, I like to do a daily highlight, and usually I do that on my weekly view at the bottom of each kind of like, let's see if I can find an example really quick. I'll put like a highlight somewhere here, or sometimes I would use this note area. But I thought, you know what, I don't use my monthly that much, let's try this. So basically what I did is each day, at the end of the day or at the beginning of the following day, I will write down some kind of highlight memory or something from the month. And then I'm going in and highlighting it with my mild lighter highlighters that correspond with the kind of like area of life that that particular highlighter memory is from. So that way I can kind of see at a glance where kind of most of my highlights are come from or memories are coming from, like what area I'm spending more time in or I'm kind of paying more attention to, things like that. The other thing I did was I took our goal category flags. These are not designed for anywhere specific in the planner. I just used them here in the sidebar and divided it up so that I put one every third line. So there was 2 lines then per each category. And I basically wrote one thing in each category that I wanted to do, achieve, something like that. So the cool thing is then I can look at this and then see if the corresponding like highlight went with the like task to do, whatever. I'm not necessarily calling these goals. These are just something I wanted to do. So personal was vote, I did that. Order our baby chicks for the spring, did that. So you can kind of see how these things, some of them correspond, not all of them, but many of them do. The only other thing I did in my monthly was I did take our monthly washi here and just put our holiday break from the shop there and that. But this is a new way I'm trying out using my monthly. I think I'm going to do the same thing in December because I did like this use of it. For next year, I have some ideas on how I might use the monthly, but for right now, I do like this as I wrap up the end of 2020. So that is my month view. Okay, we're not really going to pay attention to the goals section, as you know. We're going right into the weeklies. So I did the video at the beginning of this month showing you kind of how I prepped and got the layout before the pen on all of these weeks, and now we'll dive into how it looks after the fact. So for almost every week this month of November, I did use the 2021 Inkwell Press colors versus using the Makse Life colors just to kind of see how everything looked. So this palette is the Santorini palette. So it's like purples and blues. So I didn't put too much color on this spread. I did use dividers like I usually do, used mini hexagons as my check boxes. I did use a few icons here to note a home task, things like that. So basically what I did with this one, it's a little different than I usually do because I usually have like a work to do, I have a schedule section and a home to do. In this particular one, I kind of made like 3 main work to dos for the day, and that's why I spaced these out every other line. I did try cutting up our little time washi and hand drew in lines to make this like a little mini schedule. I liked this, but it's a little bit of work to kind of draw these lines in. You could tell by the end of the week I was no longer doing that. But I do like how it looked, and I think it can function well if you don't mind going in and like hand drawing these lines. By hand draw, I mean like with a ruler, and this still looks kind of not even. And then I just kind of like continued on a running to-do list each day here on the left. Some of these were home related, some of them were work related, and then just put the icon task in here for things that I wanted to make sure I remembered to do, and these were usually related to home. And then I like never use Saturday and Sunday. Like I don't look at my planner. I don't really use my planner. So what I've started to do is embrace the fact that I am a work week planner person. Like I almost could get away with not having Saturday and Sunday on my weekly spread. So what I've been doing instead is using this for like notes, things I want to remember to do the upcoming week, or things I don't want to forget, just using it as a note section. You can see I just took a quarter box and wrote notes there. Aesthetically, this doesn't look great. I had put that on earlier in the week and never really paid attention to it, this like grocery thing here. But there's not too much that I note or pay attention to on the weekends with my planner. So I'm like, I need to find a better way to use this. So you'll see a few times I've used it as a note section. I did not use the actual note section here. So I guess I could use this whole thing as notes. I did go ahead and write in a few like habits or whatnot, daily tasks. These aren't necessarily habits for me. These are just like automated daily tasks that I just like to check off each week. Okay, rambling a ton. That is week 1. Week 2, I used 2 colors from the Inkwell Press Vancouver palette. Now, if you saw my before the pen, you know I also had like a weekly action steps here, that sticker from the Inkwell Press, and I thought there was a way I could repurpose it. I ended up not liking that, so I pulled it off. But I did use the weekly highlights here, the big task sticker here. I think this can work if you don't use the weekend. I think you can fill this area in with whatever you want. So what I did is I did use this so I could get a few more daily tasks, but you can see I still didn't use the whole entire sheet. So this is not necessarily a necessary sticker for me after I tested that out. This weekly highlight sticker is made to go in the sidebar of the vertical planner. This one in particular is for Inkwell Press, but it works in Makse. So I decided to make this wins instead of like highlights, so like my win of the day, which was a tad bit redundant, obviously, because I'm doing this, but these weren't necessarily the same things. These are kind of like highlights, memories, exciting things. This is like things that I accomplished that day. Like I cleaned finally, had a meeting with somebody, got prepped for Black Friday. So these were wins. This didn't really serve much of a purpose after I played around with it. So I don't know, I didn't use this going forward, but I just wanted to play and see, like, since I don't use this space anyway, how can I fill it up? So then the rest of the week, did my usual, used the dividers, just alternated the colors, used blank classic headers, alternated the colors there, and just hand wrote in the word work. Used the little house mini icon, drew a box, dropped shadow, did use the blue and the brown mild liner to kind of highlight that. This spread was kind of a mess. I don't remember what was going on this week, but this week ended up being like not a very planner heavy week. I did write my meetings here, and then I had intended on putting a little Zoom icon there. Clearly, I never did that. So this was kind of a weird week. I did write some notes in here because I covered this down at the bottom. I don't know. I think the colors look good. I don't mind this color combination, although it reminds me of a baby shower. I do like blue and this tan color, but this planner week was kind of a weird week. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, so then we get into week number 3, which was last week, and this is the Venice palette from the 2021 Inkwell Press colors, and I actually really love this palette, and I think it looks really good in the Makse Life planner. Makse Life is so neutral, you guys. You can basically use any color and it'll look great. You don't have a lot of color to contend with on the page. So I used the stripe dividers here. I used the classic headers again that were blank, wrote in the word work. I used the blank headers here and layered that with a little house icon and drew the box around for my home checklist. I used mini hexagons for my task, and I actually used a little star icon from a bullet journal sampler to highlight the priority of the day, which was fill orders, fill orders, fill orders, fill orders, because our Black Friday started sale on the 16th. Then I just took this mini flag here. My intention was going to write down the number of hours I worked that day, but I ended up just using it decoratively. Put my meetings in there as usual. Did not use anything in this space here on Saturday, Sunday, or the notes. Did use my habit tracker, did use my mild liners to highlight the color coordinating category. That's not necessarily always something I do. I just happened to have my highlighters out and did that. So I do like the spread. It looks really clean. It's organized. I love this color palette. But again, you could see I'm a work week planner. All right, let's go to the last week of this month, which is this week. And this one looks totally different than all of them. So each one really looked different this month, even though essentially the format's fairly the same. So I went back to using Makse Life colors this particular week, and I used the green and the blue-gray. I have no clue why I picked these two colors together. I don't particularly love the color combination. I should have picked something that was more festive for Thanksgiving, but I didn't. So this is totally different. I was trying to use up stuff that I had left in my stash. I did use the brush style date covers. I like that. I took the vertical divider strips and I trimmed them down to use, it's just kind of like a decorative barrier divider here. Used our appointments highlight header for my schedule area. Then I just hand drew boxes. This is something I saw Carrie from What Would Carrie Craft on Instagram do, and I think she was inspired from another planner person, but I liked how she did these hand-drawn boxes that were kind of next to each other. So hers are much prettier than mine, but I did take that idea and kind of used it here. I did use our outline checkbox strips to make my actual list. And then I had like a work section and a home section. I used some bullet journal icons in there for those tasks. And then I did use some of our functional shapes to just note that we're going to be closed. So I used the circle and the arrow to say that the shop is closed for the holiday. Then put, just because I had these stickers available and I was trying to fill up space, honestly, was I took the box and the blank label and put holiday no work. I do have my checklist here per usual. Obviously this color doesn't look too bad because this is the color of this particular month, this green. So aesthetically, I think it goes well because you see that accent of green there, but this is kind of a weird color combination. But I do like this so far. I do like these hand-drawn boxes. I think that's a cool idea. Over here on Friday, I made one called Shop because these are some of the things I want to see if there's Black Friday specials on those things. So I kind of have this little list here. And that is pretty much it, guys, for my November spreads. I'm calling this video work week planning because truly I am somebody that is only in my planner during the work week, Monday through Friday, and then it pretty much gets neglected on Saturday and Sunday. So I think I'm over caring about that, and even though this looks kind of weird, I've kind of finally, after all year being like, what do I do with this area, or wasting stickers here just so that it looks balanced, I'm like, I don't care, I'm just gonna do whatever I need to do. So I really focus on Monday through Friday in my planner. I'm gonna try to brainstorm some ideas if I do use my horizontal for 2021, how I can best use this space, if there is a better way to use it for me. I don't know. I'm not really into journaling. I'm not really into writing quotes and things in there. So I don't want to just fill up it and add something more to do to my spreads that doesn't necessarily feel useful for me personally. So I may just leave it blank like that week. Maybe I could put shopping lists in here or business notes, meeting notes. I don't know. I'll have to find another way to use that or just let it be. So that is my weeks for November. If you didn't watch the Before the Pen video, you can always go back and watch that and see how it looked like before and after, how I do before the pen and how the week evolves. But again, that's the last week of the November. This was week 3. I did like this one. This one was kind of a cluster, week 2. And then week 1 was interesting, but I think, again, another weird planner week. And then, of course, you go back to my month view with the highlights in this sidebar one thing. So that is November in my planner spreads. Hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know how your November went. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And thank you all for shopping our Black Friday sale. It was a huge success. We really appreciate the support. We also appreciate you supporting us being closed during the Thanksgiving holiday. We don't close the shop too often, but that is pretty much tradition for us so we can take a little break. So hope you all are doing well, and I will see you in the next one.